Salutations everyone. We are so glad to see you on this beautiful day. My name is Raihan Mirza and I'm here with my friend Kryan. We're here to tell you guys about the history of music in Portugal. Being one of the most ancient countries in the world with unquestionable history richness, Portugal surely is a treasure for those who want to learn more about the past. We can unearth many aspects from this beautiful country from civilizations, technology, and culture. Speaking of culture, music played an enormous role in shaping the country itself. From the Catholic Gregorian chant to nowadays pop modern music, Portugal has it all. We are going to explain the music history in Portugal through four different eras: Romanization, Al-Andalus, Reconquista, and modern/contemporary era. It is very important to understand that music can be influenced by more than just foreign culture, for example, by politics and religion. For the sake of the time and to keep this video at its topic, we will mainly focus on the development of the music. So, with a note, let's begin.
The first era is when the Romans came to Portugal and started to upgrade everything according to their system and culture, making Portugal more civilized. Besides the flourishing infrastructure, the Romans brought their arts and music as well and introduced them to the Portuguese. The Romans also introduced Catholicism, and soon most of the people around the territory of what now modern Portugal were converted into Catholic. In that era, most of the songs or musics were just monophonics, choral singing used in many church rituals. The most renowned would be the Gregorian chant, one of the many easily recognized characteristics of the Roman Catholic Church. Gregorian chant consists of free-flowing melodies and sung by an all-man choir, thus it has no harmony. It was majorly written in Latin and used by the monks in monasteries to praise Jesus Christ, or Christ. It was named after Pope Gregory the First and often performed in the Mass. The chant is not forever being monophonic, of course. The polyphonic is also then introduced together with a hefty amount of musical instruments, ranging from string, woodwind, and even brass. The notable instruments are pipe organs, psaltery, medieval trombone, hurdy-gurdy, viola, mandor, lute, tambourine, triangle, and guitar. Now, guitar is actually the forerunner of the modern-day guitars. The Germanic tribes that came in 409 AD also shared their culture, including the music instruments like recorder, pan flute, bagpipes, and djemshor. This added to some richness into the music of that era. Soon, many bards and minstrels outside of the monastery started to emerge and made their own music.
The Umayyad Caliphate at that time sent Tariq ibn Ziyad under the order of the Caliph Al-Walid I to intervene in a Visigothic civil war. After their victory, many people converted to Islam. Even though the religion-related culture hasn't changed, music surprisingly doesn't change that much. In fact, the Muslims brought new music styles, genres, and instruments derived from the previous era and even more modern. Few Eastern music instruments were introduced, like the famous gobet drum or the darbuka, the oud, kamanja, rebab, and tar. Most of the songs are in Arabic and its varied accent/dialect. The result of the Hispanic-Arab music fusion, the music of this era is widely known as Andalusian music. The creation of Andalusian music is almost completely credited to one man, Ali ibn Nafi, often called Syriab. His arrival in Cordoba in 822 sparked a wave of musical revolution in Al-Andalus, which led to the creation of modern Andalusian music. Ziryab had studied in Baghdad, but according to legend was forced to leave the city after his teacher became jealous of his prodigious ability. Ziryab became a musician in the Umayyad court at the center of Al-Andalus, and soon his style of singing supplanted that of the other court musicians. Mainly in Al-Andalus music, like typical Middle Eastern music, the rhythmic instrument like the darbuka is used to make and maintain the beat, while string instruments are played with harmony in the background. Unlike the Gregorian chant, Andalus music is faster and more varied in terms of beat and rhythm, and often without lyrics because the main usage at that time is just for pure entertainment, even though there is a special version called the Madih, which is hymns honoring the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and contains many salawat praises or salutations to the Prophet.
Then came the retaking of the Iberian Peninsula by the European Catholics, known as the Reconquista period that took place around the early 8th century all the way to the 15th century. That's nearly 800 years long. In this period also saw the recreation of the Portuguese kingdom. However, for all this to happen, it came with a cost. There is no doubt that during the reign of Al-Andalus, the culture covering the Iberian land has already been heavily influenced by the North African and Arabian kingdoms. This influence that had become part of the Iberian populace ranged from lifestyle, tradition, language, dress, food, norm, and even entertainment. And when the European alliance of Christian kingdoms invaded, new influence of culture from the north was brought onto the reconquered land. Amongst the culture that got influenced by the northern kingdom was the music. So the most important question now is, how did this affect the music of the people there, which for so long have a distinct rhythm and beat in it? In this period, the music in Portugal became intermingled with religious music to the point that the initial style and genre of Portuguese music after Andalusian slowly disappeared. To understand better the development of Portuguese music in this era, let's first listen to some of the music during the time when the Kingdom of Portugal existed in the Iberian Peninsula. Now, after you have listened to some of the music in this era, immediately you can tell that it's not quite the same style as the music in Al-Andalus period, having both the instrument with characteristics from Andalusian music and the chant-like melody from the north. However, this kind of music will not survive for long as more and more influence were coming from the Catholic teachings done through academic institutes starting from the mid-16th century. The form of Portuguese music was slowly changed once more during this period due to the teachings of the royal chapel, the royal court, as well as the monasteries and cathedrals. Because of this, the style and genre of Portuguese music shifted to that of a choir and a cappella. There are many reasons for this event to happen, although most of them are mainly to influence the area culturally and politically, to replace the once Muslim majority population into one of the hub for Christian civilization. This is proven by the involvement of the English king and the Catholics in the procurement of methods and theory for developing music with Christian characteristics. Meanwhile, the Portuguese University also had Mateus de Aranda, a Mestre de Capella, or the music master of Christian chapel, as the music teacher, strengthening the religion's influence in Portuguese music even further. But as the Christian influence seemed to be in control, something's about to put a stop to it. By the end of the 17th century, the Portugal kingdom saw its nation going through yet another changes. It was thanks to King John V when he sought to modernize his kingdom in various sectors, including culture, during his reign in the 18th century. Using his connection and influence with the Pope by the time, he managed to bring opera into his kingdom. This, however, did not mean that the religious chant and capella simply disappeared. In fact, it developed into a new genre of music, an orchestra, as music instruments such as organ and string instruments were used. One of the most important and famous composers of this music is named Carlos Seixas.
Through many ups and downs in their history, the Portuguese kept on struggling until they started developing their own music, and that resulted in the birth of fado music, which is a Portuguese-made genre created in the 1820s at Lisbon. In fado music, the musician will sing about the hard realities of daily life, balancing both resignation and hopefulness that a resolution to its torments can still occur. It can be described by using the Portuguese word saudade, which means longing and stands for a feeling of loss. This loss is generally permanent and of long-term consequence. It is said that fado music was first sung by the Portuguese seafarers to describe their longing for shore, home, and families. Fado music often has one or two 12-string guitars, one or two violas, and sometimes a small 8-string bass. Fado has many forms. The fast-paced fado is known as the fados corridos, while the slow and sad one is fados menores. The singer of fado is called fadista. There are many fadistas spread throughout Portugal, but the most popular is Amália Rodrigues, also known as the Queen of Fado. At first, she was criticized for modifying traditional fado melodies. As time goes by, she is loved by many people, even including those who aren't from Portugal. She has also begun singing fado that originated in the 16th century, written by the famous Luís de Camões. Since then, fado is not a strange genre anymore. It is now a worldwide known genre and loved by millions of people. Although she passed away in 1999, the soul of fado music goes on and is being carried again by modern fadistas such as Mirza, Guerreiro, and David Couto. Beside Amália, there is also another famous 20th century singer from Portugal, and she is Carmen Miranda. Although the genre that she sings, which is samba, is different from Amália's, her reputation in the music world is just as good as hers. Now, I'm sure most of you have seen or know this scene from the cartoon Tom and Jerry in the episode Baby Puss. It includes the characters singing the song Mama Eu Quero, which is a Portuguese song originally written for carnivals in Brazil by Vicente Paiva and Indra. Carmen Miranda made it an international hit after making a rendition and sang it in one of her films. Fun fact, there is also an Indonesian cover of the said song made by a famous comedy group in Indonesia called Warkop DKI. This particular rendition changed the lyrics so it fits the comedy theme. The film it is played on, Makin Lama Makin Asyik, released in 1987 in Indonesia. Meanwhile, within the metal genre, there are some names like Moonspell, Plastic Mechanism, and Alexander Church, just to name a few. These bands are not only adding more colors to Portugal's music, but also reminding the world that Portugal is still in more than good shape with their music culture. It's only a matter of time before they release another masterpiece.